Hi, hello, and welcome to Quantum Healing Hands Tarot. Today's going to be a fun reading. I wanted to know about your main character energy. So, if you are someone who knows what you want immediately, you can click the timestamp down below and I'll meet you there. If you need a little bit more help with breathing, with picking, we will do some breathing. All right, let's get started. So, I like to start with 3 deep breaths. All right, so now that we're nice and relaxed, we can go ahead and look at the piles. We have 4 today. So I came up with a couple little characters. So the first one, in pile 1, we have the pirate flag. In pile 2, we have the mermaid. In pile 3, we have the dice. And in pile 4, we have the sheep. So I suggest going with what your instinct tells you, because it could be really easy to want to pick one of the piles over one of the others, but your instinct will always lead you to the right one. So, and sometimes people will go there and they can tell it's not their reading, so your intuition will always speak to you, don't worry. So once you decide that and you pick, I will meet you there. All right. Hi, Pile 1. Thank you so much for joining me today. So I just kind of wanted to talk about you, and so I thought the main character energy was kind of good because it covers everything, and most importantly, it's all about you, which is my favorite thing to do. I just did a reading at what was it, like a business fair, like plaza, where everyone has their booths out, and I went and did tarot there, and I absolutely love just helping people and communicating with people. YouTube is much more my preferred choice, but I love helping people and getting to talk about them with them. So that's what we're doing today, is we're talking about you. So you chose the pirate flag. Nothing left to say, but let's get started. So the first cards up is, what is your main character energy? All right, pile 1. So right off the bat, these 3 cards come together, and I see the character in the movie who has all the potential, kind of like a witch who hasn't figured out their powers yet. So you are all about intuition. You have such a core, solid knowing, and so the way I'm reading this is you have all the potential for this. You unfortunately are kind of struggling with poor self-image or lack of motivation and just moving forward. And so you kind of have this, your character's energy is the one who needs to figure out that they need to commit to bettering themselves and improving this intuitive skill you have. And so you may be wondering, what does that mean? Well, this could be simply you starting to do tarot. But what I'm really seeing this as, it has a much more witchy vibe. I literally keep feeling this is a movie about a witch who maybe doesn't know they have powers yet, but at a certain age, things start happening. And it's kind of this power struggle in your life of needing to embrace that this is who you are. I mean, if you're watching a tarot reading, you obviously are interested in this sort of stuff. So your energy is, so like maybe you do this stuff already. There's still that the main character energy is someone who has room to grow, and you're the protagonist who people are rooting for, and I'm really excited to see where your story goes. So let's look a little further. So I asked next, who are your co-stars and what are their roles in your life? Who are your co-stars? Okay, so the co-stars in your life, this is how I'm interpreting it. So the death card is going to be somebody who is the one that is pushing you forward. You have a character in your life that makes you question your own judgment in a good way. Like you have used this person to help you evolve for better or worse. So this would kind of be the antagonist in the movie, but it is still a co-star. That's kind of their role though. So they're not your like side buddy. I see that you have the Lovers, so I'm going to say that your partner you have a partner in this movie, in this adventure in life. Maybe a couple pets. But what I'm feeling with the Judgment card is this energy of you're going to be kind of a storyteller, and you're going to have people who listen to you, and for better or worse. So you have an audience. So not only are you the main character of your movie, but your movie is actually being watched by other people. People are actually paying attention to your story. And that's because your story is so interesting. You have allowed every chapter of your life, every scene or act, I should say, you have allowed yourself to have a transition. You have, every fall you harvest what's good and you remove what's bad. Like you've learned a lot, and I feel like you've had you've had such an interesting energy around you. Probably not a lot of good people, but those people have all pushed you forward. And so they're probably a lot of the same people who are watching you, the audience. But your other co-star is your Lover, which I think is super fabulous. So let's go a little bit further. All right, and so next I asked, what has been what is the big character arc in the last 3 years for you? I figured last 3 years is good because it was significant. So, all right. Yeah, your character arc over the last 3 years has been learning to listen to the inner call. You have been learning to listen to kind of the intuitive voice you have inside of you that I feel like you have felt maybe you knew better than, of like, I don't know why I keep getting this like thought to do this thing. That's silly. I shouldn't do that. And it's like, I think the last 3 years you have kind of seen maybe the people who have been kind of watching your story. No. What am I trying to say? You've had these people who've helped you transform, kind of watching you from afar. Like they're not in your life, but they keep tabs on you. Do you know what I mean? So your character arc has been all about you learning to trust yourself, you learning to figure out that you have your own gifts and your own intuition and to follow it because it's gotten you to really good places so far. So the last 3 years has kind of been a long night of just waiting, kind of like just a long process. Like I feel like you've been waiting through dark nights to get to the, the bright full moon, whatever that represents to you. I feel like you have been trying to fully manifest something, and it's your way of thinking is what I'm seeing, is that has been a huge obstacle for you, because it's hard when you have a strong intuition and the intuition sometimes is telling us to do things that don't sound as easy or fun or pleasant. You know when your gut is speaking to you. You're still very protective over yourself, and maybe that's something you weren't doing before. I'm seeing like the yellow behind her and where her arms crossed. I feel like your yellow chakra has healed. That has been the journey, which is all about, joy and motivation and, I'll have to look at the other things that it means. I'll write some right here. But you have been working towards this. You have been working towards trusting yourself and knowing that in the end, what are those sayings of like, people are going to judge you and not like what you do anyway, so you may as well do what makes you happy. And I think it's taking you a long time to figure that out and make those choices. And I think just through all the experiences that's what's made you more self-confident. You're still working on it, but I mean, like, okay, who isn't? All right, so I wanted to kind of see a little bit more of what is the next, what's your next exciting event in life? So the way I'm reading this is you are kind of coming to a truce with yourself. I feel like you've kind of been at war with the choices of what you want to do. I feel like it's kind of that thing of like when you're going to bed at night, that's when all of a sudden you're like, oh, should I be doing this with my life? Should I be doing this with my life? And I feel like what you're coming out of it, you're kind of like, the next exciting event per se is you really overcoming the things that were holding you back from making your choices. I don't think you're going to be blocking your emotions anymore. I don't think you're going to be giving them to just anybody anymore either. Yeah, the visions are going to get really strong also. So expect having the vivid dreams, expect having the truth coming to you in a whole new way. I think a lot of things are going to be revealed. Yeah, there's something here with your co-stars that you're having to, unfortunately, have to kind of make a decision between something There's the Lover's card is also the card of choice. So this is repeatedly saying you are coming to a place where you are about to have to make a decision. It's that sort of like left or right, left or right. Do you want to go north or south? Like, make the decision, because it doesn't matter which way you go. If it's not for you, you can correct it. I'm kind of just sitting back so I can see all the cards at once a little bit better. You used to protect yourself so much more, and you needed to. You did. But you're coming to this place where you're just, I think I said that already. You're not you're preventing the people from being in your life who you had to protect yourself from. So therefore you're becoming much more comfortable. You're just becoming more comfortable in your skin again. When we have to disassociate from family and the crap that is stressing us out, it actually creates, oh, I was just reading about this in my book, what is it? Becoming Supernatural, by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And it says that, like, when we're thinking about these things, it causes our body to go into survival mode, and the chemicals that are being projected into our bodies from stress and all that stuff, it just perpetuates the system. And I feel like you've really had to figure out how to prevent that. You're going to start making the right choices for you. Whoever your co-stars are, just, they love you, they want to support you, and even the ones that don't, you know, they're watching your story, so they want you to continue, regardless of if you do well or not. People want you to keep going. So I think you have a big show. I think you have something to show. And I kind of feel like it's is secret the right word? It's intimate and private, so it's finally yours. This next adventure you're going on. The exciting thing that's happening is your intuition's growing stronger with making choices. That's kind of what I just keep seeing. That's kind of the repeated thing. So what choices you would have normally made out of like fear and all the survival mode things that led to this sort of like you just not having the best feelings about yourself, you're taking a different approach. You're listening to your intuition. All right, so before I keep repeating myself, let's go ahead and find out what's next. All right, so what I ask, how will this situation help you grow? Oh, lovely. Lovely. Yeah, you're going to be able to make decisions so much easier because you're just going with your gut. You used to make decisions from a place of fear and like lack, thinking, well, I can't give to you, I don't have enough. And I think your whole mind frame has kind of shifted in how to live life. So the way that, kind of just simply put, so this doesn't sound like a really vague reading, you're going to learn how to start making those yes or no quick decisions, and you're not going to be wasting time anymore. It's kind of like the movie Yes Man. I think that's what it's called, with Jim Carrey. It's all about just when you learn to say yes to life, you give yourself so many more opportunities. So I'm thinking what you were trying to do before, you were using the wrong sort of logic. You were thinking too much with your head and not enough with your heart. And now you're finally going to be realizing your intuition and your heart are very, very much linked. So you have a great victory coming. This is going to feel really good. Your audience is going to be really happy that you are growing. This is the part of the movie where the character is just blossoming and you think everything's like going great. You think. All the doors are going to open up for you when you are more connected to your inner guiding system. It's going to lead you to the treasure so much faster. So the reason why I hesitated when I said everything's going well, because I was like, the next card is what is the plot twist coming up, but it doesn't look like anything bad, so pardon me if I scared you. So the plot twist is that you figure it all out. I don't even know if that's like a plot twist, but I feel like maybe people kind of, I feel like we're rooting for your downfall. Like I said, it feels like not that they were not watching, they didn't care if you were going to be happy or not. Plot twist, you actually figure it all out, you get more connected to your intuition, and you have a clear way of thinking now because you've simplified things of just like yes or no. Yes or no. Like, this is fast. This is like, I was seeing this more as the page, which is about like enthusiasm and excitement and like a messenger bringing you something great. So I feel like one of your co-stars is going to, probably your lover, is going to bring you something that's going to kind of be the last thing, the last wire plugged in. The light bulb is about to go off. You're about to figure it all out. And so the plot twist is that you are actually going to be reborn, and it's like, it's like at the end of the movie when you know, the main character you are like 100% sure is dead, but turns out they're not. That's what's happening here, is people didn't know what you were going to be, and so I think therefore you didn't know what you were going to be, but only when you were listening to them, because you had since the beginning a true calling and knowing that that was your purpose and that was what was going to happen for you. And then you kept making choices from the wrong place. You kept making choices of like fear of losing money and just not making other people happy. And so you just were in this perpetual cycle. You have some fabulous co-stars, so the death card is like, this one isn't even like someone who's bad. It's just someone, it represents the person who is always making you want to improve yourself. And then the lovers is, I think, the person who holds the mirror to you, of like actually lets you see your actions. This is you paying attention to other people's actions and being like, oh, I don't want to do that. And then you have somebody in your life who is helping you helps validate that for you, and just all that stuff. You know what you're meant to do. You know that people just, if they don't believe in themselves, it's really hard to believe in other people. Ugh, even the ones who are like fake supportive. Oh my God, you're going to do so great. I can't wait for you. But then the second you start doing great, they like totally ghost you because they are not enjoying watching you succeed. You are going to have, I'm really excited because like you have the King of Cups and the King of Swords. This is all about like you really handling your emotions and your thoughts and like you know where everything should go. When something happens to you, you aren't lost in the emotion. So yeah. Let me see. Was there anything else? No. So you chose the pirate flag. I'm going to say that you're kind of the rebel of the family. You're kind of the one who had to leave and kind of be the pioneer and set sail towards new horizons kind of thing. And even though I know pirates and pioneers are very, very different, you had to kind of become a pirate. You had to become a very, very defensive person because you knew nothing else. Every time you were finding your truth and getting closer to who you actually are, it really felt like you were being told that it was wrong. So you were getting really confused and starting to make decisions from the wrong place. But your character arc is that you are waking up in your dream. Like it's like lucid dreaming, which a lot of people say feels more real than being awake. And that's kind of the energy of what's happening here, is like you're going to start listening to a part of you that is your intuition. And so it's going to take all the pressure off of you. It's like, it's not your choice. Just ask your intuition. It's really helpful for me, honestly. Yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. And the first answer that comes to you, that's it. And if you make that choice and maybe somehow, some way you didn't pick the right one, you will know. Your gut speaks to you. Just stop letting your ego like run things. And don't think you know just because you feel it. Like actually go through it and be like, oh yeah, that's wrong for me. But for all you know, the choice seemed wrong. You take it and turns out you are right where you're supposed to be. I think that's the thing you're going to become most enlightened with is, wow, life really does work itself out. Like, the more I've become aware of my spiritual practices and how it works and what life is and everything, like I'm very, very much into quantum mechanics. That's why my channel's name is Quantum Healing Hands Tarot. The hands is for my makeup, but I believe everything is 100% possible. And if you go through the right process and know how to get yourself to that state where you can manifest anything just with thought, but you have to like overcome a lot of crap that usually stands in the way, that a lot of people don't know is already there. But you're coming up to such a great time, like gorgeous. You are about to have a glow up that nobody expected. Maybe you kind of have been in hiding for a while. Like, new haircut. What's up, big haircut? How's it going? Yeah, that low self-esteem is so trivial and so connected to the other people. So like that's going to be fixed in no time, with you realizing your choices have been subconsciously based on other people's opinions and thoughts. And so once you kind of start making choices for yourself from your intuition, you'll start feeling so much better about yourself and respecting yourself. And oh, it just feels so much better when you're true to yourself. I feel like I repeated myself a lot there, but it's a very kind of simple energy of like, you have been kind of misled for a while, kind of got you off course for a while, but it wasn't in vain. You learned so much about who you are. You are today who you are because of everything you've gone through, good or bad. You are supposed to meet the challenges that are coming to you. I just hear, and it's, you know, I did just hear this phrase from reading it in the book, but I was reading this morning. Surrender to the universe actually showing you what you want. And there's something when you actually say out loud, like, okay, I'm ready. There's a chemical change in your body and things do actually alter. I've seen the change in myself when I have made those outward declarations. And so be ready. The last time I did that, I literally spoke to the universe. This isn't discouragement. Just what happened to me was I told the universe I was ready. I was ready for a new way of thinking and a new way of moving forward. And then I got COVID for the first time. And I had, understandably, never been so sick in my entire life. And through those days of being sick, and still, like, that was back in April, I still, if I'm like walking up the stairs too fast, my lungs start to hurt. That has made me appreciate health and life and caring about my body more than I ever did. So we sometimes have to go through these awful experiences. So just the best way to learn the lessons is to pay attention to them when they're being given to you. But if you feel like you aren't picking up on that, if you feel like you aren't able to like make that sort of change on your own, I think the declaration can help. Because otherwise it's just a lot of the same, and a lot of this is about like changing that. And so, all right, pile one, that's where I'm going to leave it. You are on quite a journey. Your main character energy is figuring out that you are magical and you can kind of manifest anything you want when you go into meditation. Like, everything we want exists in 5D, which is where we dream and where we meditate and all those things. So I think if you have no idea what I'm talking about, please look into it more. Like, Dr. Joe Dispenza it's changed my life. So, all right, that's where I'm leaving it. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you did, I would love for you to give it a little thumbs up. That lets me know that the reading resonated. And if you loved it, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of my channel. It's been an absolute honor. I just reached, 333 subscribers, which is such a pretty number. But I have no problem if you guys want to join and get those numbers up. So thank you for being here. I hope to see you in future readings, and have a great day. Bye. Hi, Pal 2. Thank you so much for joining me today. Main character energy. Your main character energy. Like, what is your character about? What is going to be their role? I'm really excited. The last pile really read a good story, so I think this is going to be a really good pile. You chose the mermaid, which is amazing. I wonder if that was like what your intuition told you, or if it was just like you love mermaids, so like you had to pick that one kind of thing. I'm curious. So, oh yeah, there's nothing really else to say. Let's get started. Up first is your main character energy. All right, pile 2. So the energy I'm getting from these 3 cards together, it's kind of that like bad boy in the movie who needs to like be reformed and like come around. Like this is somebody who has struggled a lot with like creative block and just like an emotional blockage that is causing like anger and like the need to manipulate situations. Like you've gone through a lot. Your main character energy is somebody who really struggled, who was not taken care of, who was not loved. And so it's like your character is the one who is on the journey to find that balance and harmony. And that's like your character energy, because I do have like about your character arc and stuff like that. So, but I feel like because this is in the middle, the way it's sitting here, like I really feel like this is like your past. You've overcome a lot of this. But we all know like those things that hurt us, and the way, you know, we used to live, it never fully goes away, in my opinion. I feel like there's always going to be that part of you that will always speak up and be like, well, don't you want to react how you used to? And the hope is that you've really learned to temper that voice and speak to it in the way it needs to, and with kindness and love, and not judgment and hating yourself. Like you've been really at odds with yourself, probably because of whatever happened to you growing up, your home environment, or even like, let's say all that was totally good, but you got out on your own and you felt really confident and life just like knocked you down. And it's made you really bitter of like, life just isn't turning out how you thought it would be. Or that's like the character energy. But you have all the potential to turn these around and be the most like manifesting, like long distance running, gentle person. And I think that person is inside of you. And you probably have been working on that. I really feel like you have, like I said, because this is in the middle, I'm feeling like you're here, you're in this energy. You probably still have a little bit of the lingering stuff to work on, but let's find out more. So I asked, who are your co-stars and like, what are their roles in your life? Okay, so the way that I'm reading this is one of your main co-stars is the Magician. This is somebody who, because you have it reversed, this is somebody who is in your life to teach you how to turn that Magician card around, which is so cool that you have this, that's an, like, of course, in these kind of movies, like, oh, like the Karate Kid, all of a sudden, that's what I'm seeing, like, you have somebody who is here to help you stay focused and really manage expectations and just kind of show you the way. The way I'm reading that the moon is here is that you have your, like I was, the way I was identifying your anger felt like its own character. Like, I feel like when it comes over you, it's not you. That's not who you are. That's not who you want to be. But that is a main like that person shows up in your movie. And so your kind of like inner workings is so strong that it actually is its own character. And then I feel what I keep feel truthfully, this one has a child on it, so I'm wondering if one of your co-stars is your child, if you have a child. But I know that's not going to resonate with everybody. So it's, you have somebody in your life who helps you feel childlike, and like in the good way, reconnect to your, your past, and helps you stay relaxed and reminds you of what's good in life. So I'm really happy that these are your co-stars when you have this as somebody who is coming around. All of a sudden you're upset and angry, and that's a whole new person that comes over you. That's something to work on. I know you know, but I'm more meaning like it's not helpless. This is not something that you're stuck with. This is something that can totally be fixed. And not fixed like it's broken, just having the ability, the temperance, like your energy is to have balance and harmony with self-doubt and fear and all that stuff that is all right here. Yeah, the Karate Kid is like definitely what's coming up for me. Next card is, what has been your big character arc in the last 3 years? Okay, so you have gained your willpower. You have really you've gained the control over your anger. It's kind of just in the past now. You have a whole nother way of controlling your life. Yeah, your story has really been about kind of your transformation from the way you were before and who you are now. Like, truthfully, it is making me think of how on the TV show Friends, Phoebe actually comes from like a pretty rough background. Like, she lived on the streets. She didn't have an easy life, and she really totally turned her life around kind of on her own. She, went and got her massage therapy, license, and she actually worked to be where she's at. And that's been yours for the last 3 years. For the last 3 years, I feel like you've actually set sail. You got on the road and started this journey. And oh, what a journey it has been. It's been nothing but, what's the word? Because it's not success. It's like, it's been nothing but wins. You've been doing really well. Because, yeah, this is your, like your character's description, but in all those movies, that character always comes out on top. Like, they don't make those movies to not have the person win in the end. You are winning, and you are, and it's with a trust in who you truly are. Like, I feel like you don't really doubt your inner voice. I think the inner voice has probably helped you a lot with these things. Like, when, maybe you'll hear a negative comment to yourself from yourself, and then you will be able to step in and be like, God, I gotta be nicer to myself. Like, that's what's going on here. So let's look a little further. What is going to be your next exciting event? So with the Knight of Swords reversed, this is just saying that the journey you're on, it's kind of like this next stage is like up to you. Like, you've had your mentors, you've had people help you out. Now it's time to practice and enact when you need to if you're getting upset or things are not going your way, you have a new understanding of how to respond. I think you're going to finally know what choice you want. You're going to kind of, it's like you've been making all these choices and kind of following your gut, and now whatever you've been trying to figure out, whatever you've been trying to work towards, the options you've laid out before you, I feel like you're finally learning how to manifest it, and your Mr. Miyagi is, you got the wax on, wax off down, literally, with the car. The theme of stress is very much present here. There is a lot of stressors you have. I feel, oh, what is it? What is it? You've been really, honestly, what I'm feeling is such a bigger collective energy. And so you're just riding along with it, that there's a lot of financial struggle right now. A lot of people are struggling with money. Not everybody. And if you're not, then, but that's amazing, literally. And I feel like this kind of fires up old emotions. This kind of fires up the old way of feeling and thinking of like, oh my God, what if this thing I just chose to do is not going to lead me to where I want to go? And it's like, just listen to your mentors and listen to the people who have helped you really create and bring forward ideas. Money's going to be tight, but that's a-okay, because that's okay. Because your main character arc has just been all about succeeding and driving towards your goal, and you're getting there. I think you're just at a new phase in the journey. It's literally that part where you and your mentor are kind of like, okay, look, I've taught you everything I can teach you. I've taught you everything I can teach you, and now it's your turn. So it's like the Two of Pentacles reverse is just that kind of like, okay, so maybe you don't have all the money right now to do all the things that you want, but I don't think you're going to let that stop you. So I asked, how is this going to help you? Because you're finally going to go at it by yourself, you're going to kind of learn to be okay with doing things on your own. You're going to be okay with learning that sometimes it's going to be hard and you're not going to have as much as when you were getting direct help. But I think who you're becoming is so transformative, and it's leading you to, honestly, the exact happy ending you wanted. Everything that you struggled with when you were younger, that you wanted when you were older, you're getting there. You're now on this last step of taking those final steps of enacting something on your own, getting a job on your own, starting a creative venture on your own. That is a really, really hard thing to do. But if you've been given the right tools, you should be able to move forward. Oh, I just reposted a saying of like, money is a tool. It's never been the goal. The goal is freedom. Freedom to do whatever you want because you have all the money. You're getting to that. You really are. That's kind of what you've been taught. I think you know what's ahead. They're just finally getting out of the car, and you're like, you've gotten this far in the journey. You're going to keep going. And it's going to feel really cool. I think you're going to really enjoy this next part of the trip. It's going to feel really good when you see that you are the reason that things have been progressing. You haven't just been like writing manifestation lists and praying, and like you're actually going after it. You're doing the manifestation lists and praying, but you are finally understanding the act of motion and moving forward. And it's bringing you to everything you've wished for. Perfect happiness. Like, you have a great future ahead. I'm really excited for you. You have really overcome the whatever caused you to be stressed out and lash out at people. I feel like it's not showing up. So, all right, what's next? Oh, last is plot twist. Oh, shut up. That's funny. Plot twist. Chariot reverse. Oh my god. And then, interesting. I just see you going into, like, if life was a video game, you're going to the next level. So you have kind of aced the first part, and I think you're just entering into the next. Like, this is ooh, it's like at the end of a movie, like your movie's being left on a cliffhanger and the next one's coming out soon. So, plot twist is, I think the thing that you've been working towards is not going to take you to where you thought it was going to. This is the vehicle of, you need to have one thing happen in life so another thing can happen. I think you're going to finally, because honestly, this is kind of saying, like, I think you're going to struggle with whether to walk away from a project or not, because you're probably in that state of mind of like, oh, well, I can't walk away from something. And I only think you should walk away from something when you actually have something to walk towards. Don't just be like, I'm not enjoying this trip, and turn around, go a different direction. I don't think that's what's happening. I don't think you are just, oh no, I've been on this journey by myself now and it's just not as enjoyable. Like, no, I think you were doing all the things that you were kind of trained to do, and plot twist, it is not what you thought it was. And so I think the decision of what to do next, you're kind of left with some confusion. But remember how you got through it before, the yes or no, the quick answers. Like, that's actually, I always think of the episode on Friends when Phoebe's on a road trip with Chandler and she plays the, like, question, the game where, oh no, that's Chandler and they're just in the cab. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. But Phoebe's the one who does the game of, like, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions and you answer real fast. Don't even think about it. And that helps. So I'm kind of feeling like you maybe have stepped away from that way of thinking because, you know, you may not be happy with where you're at right now, but it's just plot twist. Everything is going to work out for good. It's just you're kind of looking around like, this is not what I signed up for. This is not the trip I thought I was going to take. And we all know the universe has different plans for us. Throw out the map. Just follow your intuition. I promise you it will get you exactly where you need to go. I think the difference, though, this time is you're going to have a much more calmer approach. You're going to feel so much more balanced and knowing yourself. I feel like when you were doing this stuff before, you had your person with you. So it was kind of like you look to them constantly of like, hey, what should I do? And I think this next event, well, this is the next event, is like the kind of like you're going through this journey alone. The plot twist is it's not gonna turn out how you thought, all the things you were envisioning and describing. But if you believe me, I promise you it's gonna be better than you thought. Truthfully, if you have the Magician up here twice, like the 10 of Cups, you are gonna get everything you want. I just think you kind of have a harder little trip than some people. I just a little bit harder trip. And with that, I'm so sorry. I feel like none of this is a surprise to you. So you're going to figure it out. If I can give you any sort of advice, just keep moving forward. Everything in the universe is on your side, even if you can't see it. So that's where I'm going to leave it, pile 2. Oh, any connection to the mermaid? I mean, other than like the Little Mermaid and how she had to go out on a journey to go explore the world above that she always wanted to try. And it's like, that's kind of, I guess, a good example of like, she wanted to go to the surface, not just for a man's, but she actually had always wanted to be a human and learn how to walk and all those things. And what happened is, plot twist, it didn't turn out how she thought at all. She didn't get to, you know, she lost. She lost the whole thing, but the universe still, it still turned out in her favor, and she ended up finding love. So that's the exact same, that's the exact same thing that's going to happen to you. No, that's the same like plot twist of like, just when you think it's not going well, you're actually getting something else. So, okay, I'm excited. Thank you so much, pile 2, for letting me channel your energy. Go experience that world and know that it's all happening for you. So just don't sell your voice or your soul or anything like that. We all learned from that movie. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this message. If you did, I would love for you to give it a little thumbs up. And if you loved it, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of my channel. It's been an absolute honor every single time I get new subscribers. I'm at 333, which is such a pretty number. And so if you want to help keep it growing, I would be happy to have you. So I hope to see you in future readings, and have a great day. Bye. Hi, pile 3. Thank you so much for joining me. Your main character energy. Who are you in? If this was your movie and you were the main character, which one would you be? I've really enjoyed the last 2 piles, so I feel like I have a good going with this. So you chose the dice. I'm really excited to find out what that's like kind of connected to. I wonder if you are somebody who like takes big risks, or like needs to start taking big risks. So that was a lot of, let's get started. Up first is your main character energy. Powerful. Wow. All right. So pile 3. What I'm seeing is this movie where the main character is an artist. Like literally I'm seeing like a loft apartment, paintings everywhere, you know, or like I just switched to like a studio where someone has to like, is a dancer, and so they're finding their place to, you know, practice, or even a musician who like I'm seeing an artist. I'm seeing an artist who is self-disciplined, knows exactly what they want, is responsible. It's that person in the movie where you're like, okay, so what's going wrong? I mean, they seem pretty lucky. They seem like a lot of good is happening for them. I see that you're the character who's having some big need for change. And I think you I feel like you're somebody who changes frequently as an artist, but this kind of change is you're kind of resisting it, is what I'm seeing. So it's that character in the movie who knows they need to do something, whether it's like move to a different city or break up with their partner who's not good to them, um, selling a piece that they just haven't been able to let go of. Like, there's some sort of change that is there's change in the air. So yeah, people watch and don't really know what's gonna happen. Yeah, you've had no problem making the changes like for yourself that are good for you, but I think there's something happening. Oh, that's what it was. That was the other vision I had with the artist. Was there is a very, 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 very large pain inside of you, something that is not just a root, like not just a core memory, but like a root cause of where you're at, for good and bad. Like, and so I'm seeing the character, you, as someone who is trying to process their emotions through their art, when really there's kind of just a need to allow the emotions in. And I think that's the one thing you don't want to, because it hurts. Emotional pain is impossible to control. Once you allow it in and feel it, feeling is real. When we have emotions, it's an actual like chemical process of what's happening. And oh, this is reminding me kind of I'm reading the book Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And it's just kind of that thing of you're such a successful person, but I feel like there's a traumatic event you're really struggling to move on from. And instead you're trying to like maybe interpret it through art, and you have really become focused and like driven. You know exactly what you want. You are organized. You make money with this. And it's just like, none of that matters if you can't feel. Like, I mean, just this morning, I felt like I needed to cry, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to let myself do that. And I never do that. Ever. Ever. I'm always like, I don't want to cry. But no, this morning I was like, I'm just feeling probably hormonal, but I allowed those emotions to flow through me. And because I knew instinctively if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to read. I knew I would feel blocked off. And so this literally is saying, like, you need an energy flow. You need that change. Because when the tower's reversed, like, sometimes it means like you're resisting the change that is needing to come. And I think, well, right, because you're like, I love my life. I don't want anything to change. The universe always has other plans for us, and not that your life isn't going anywhere. You're not like losing all of this. You're actually going to be so much more enriched, because I didn't believe for the longest time that our bodies like stored memories. Like, not at all. I did not believe that. I was like, that's weird. Turns out, scientifically, yes. Because our emotions are a chemical reaction. So there's a need to change your chemical reactions. And like, some of you may even be a scientist. Like, I see like all these hands in like a little lab. But like, you're trying to, I think, perfect your life and missing the main step that's kind of right in front of you. So up next are your co-stars. Who are these people? What do they represent? What is their role? So this is interesting because your co-stars are not just like people per se. Like in the last one, I kind of had something like that too. So when the devil shows up here, it's not that one of your co-stars is the devil, but a huge, it's like in a movie when there's like a narration for a certain like bad behavior or something like that. It's like there is narration that goes on in your head when you are doing, I actually think it's that you're so successful and you're doing everything in life right, but it's the emotions. And so like this is like the monkey on your back. This is the devil that's got you wrapped up. And so the emperor to me is the person who really caused this, and for better or worse, you have modeled yourself after this person. Like I said, no, what I mean is, I'm saying that wrong. You are who you are because of this person, for better or worse. You didn't model yourself after this person, but whatever happened in life has made you who you are because of what you've gone through. And so this is probably what you're not wanting to tap into, but these are connected. That thought process, that feeling, that existence is blocking you off from moving forward. Fortunately, you have your other main character in this movie. The Chariot is telling me that you do have like a partner in crime with everything, that you aren't alone on this journey, but it's not a movie with a lot of side characters. This movie is really about you. This movie is watching you struggle through dealing with everything that happened. Like, I'm sure when you even remotely remember anything from your past, it is painful. You feel like you're on fire and you don't want to be around that. Like, that is not what you're trying to tap into. So that's the journey we're seeing. We're seeing somebody who is constantly fighting that old way of I'm sure you cried so much when you're younger, you're done with crying, kind of thing. Like you have literally no tears left. But you do have a sidekick. You have somebody who is kind of driving the story, kind of the person that comes in and like explains what's happening next. And I think this person was sent to you. I think this person is kind of like an earth angel. So they have an insight, like, you know, each card has the black cat, but to me, this is like the cat has the intuition and knows what's going on. Look, I love it. I feel like it's like back is its back turned to it, or can't really tell. But to me, it looks like, oh no, it is kind of just leaning around. So it's skeptical. So you have this friend who is skeptical and, you know, snappy, catty even, like, will fight for you. I feel like you've needed that. You've needed somebody to show up for you. But you need to show up for yourself with these emotions. Because that I don't see you ever giving anyone else. But for you, you deserve to not have a co-star be the devil, being that way of thinking, the thing that is trapping you, the thing that is not actually like what is it? This is not actually like it's not an outside force. That's what I think I'm trying to say. It's your thought process. And this is the outside force. Whatever this person did, you had to separate your emotions from, you know, your brain and your heart had to separate. So let's go a little further. All right. Okay, so the next card is what has been the big character arc in the last 2 years for you? Yeah, you've grown. You have absolutely evolved from who you were when you started. And it's not like you were ever a bad person or anything, but I feel like you felt really small when you left this energy behind. And so for the last 3 years, like maybe it was 3 years ago that you left this energy, and it has just been you actually learning how to live life, you learning the ways of the streets and social interactions, and you have confidence in yourself now that, like, yeah, because you have the Emperor, like you're so confident in yourself, and you have built such an amazing world, like a whole universe. Like I wouldn't be surprised if you actually have created like a whole storyline with a whole universe with characters. Like you have created so much beauty and you've helped so many people. You've helped. And because of what you grew up with, like nobody can scare you, nobody can intimidate you. So you've actually been able to meet people and work with people that so many other people are like, oh, how'd you do that? You're like, what? I just went up to them and asked if they wanted to work. You aren't intimidated by life. You are the ringleader. You know exactly, you're the star. You're the main character here. And over the last 3 years, you have just been like, bam, bam, bam. Like this would be the like montage of growth. All the things you did over the years. Let's find out what is the next exciting event. So this person who, this energy that was really messing with you, I think you're gonna finally face it and kind of realize like where this could be blocking any of your passions possibly. Like if in any way that this is hurting your art, I feel like you would want to help that. There's somebody new. I think you're finally gonna get a new co-star. Ooh, yeah, that's so what happens in these movies when there's when it's just like the main star and one co-star, then there's always that extra person that comes in a little bit like halfway through the movie. Like you have somebody coming in that is, I think, going to be exciting and reignite your passions and maybe make you see how being in touch, like this, like you're going to see this person be in touch with their emotions in a totally different way. And you're like, whoa, okay. So you're going to like find out new ways. And because of what you've gone through and who you are now over the last 3 years, you're actually ready. I feel like before you were like, I just need to heal. I just need to work on myself. And now you're like, okay, let's go. I'm ready. Yeah, because that Emperor energy from before, I think you're finally going to be able to work through it and connect to those emotions. All right, so how is this exciting event going to help you grow? Okay, so you're finally going to be able to move on. You haven't been able to move on from this trauma because you weren't addressing it. So what this is going to do is teach you, maybe you have been working harder and longer to kind of distract yourself. I think you need to take a break. I think you just need to focus on this just one problem, that Emperor, because it's blinding you to so much goodness in life and your future. Like, you are so talented, you have everything. Can you actually imagine you getting more? Isn't that wild? Like, believing like your life can be better. I feel like you're kind of one of those people who's like, no, please, I already have enough, it's so good. And I'm like, imagine your life the way it is now. Like, nothing has to change dramatically, but this energy is going to leave. And you're finally going to be able to understand who this person was, why they did what they did, and realize they're just another person on this planet who has experienced their own trauma, and it's never okay, but it helps us when maybe trying to move on, of like, okay, that had nothing to do with me. So you just unfortunately were affected by it greatly. Okay, so last bit of the movie is the plot twist. It's amazing. I love that. So what's popping up here is saying, like, yeah, I think once you finally work through that, I think your art is going to go to a whole nother level, and you're going to finally be able to tap into a whole reservoir of creativity that you didn't even know, like, you didn't know you had more, but you do. And it's being blocked off right now by this not wanting to cry, not wanting to forgive this person, not wanting to move on. But if and when you do, you literally have the victory card. You have recognition that your work is improving, and emerging awareness of, wow, if I actually deal with things, emotions, I have so much more access to creativity. And you, yeah, I think you're gonna be able to be the charitable person that you want to be. I feel like you really, really, oh, look, 6, 6, 6, all equals 18. Crazy. Yeah, you are really coming into this full, beautiful, amazing energy. And your art's just gonna improve. The charity card here makes me think, like, I see like you donating some art or time, or making enough money that you can start being that charitable artist. I mean, this is pretty awesome, Pal 3. If your message is literally saying, like, hey, you're talented, you're successful, you're driven, you're disciplined, cry. Will you just cry? Because if you cry, you can just move on from all this and just, oh my God, just keep succeeding. Just cry. It's okay. I know I'm saying it like, ha 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 ha. And I don't mean that. It's insane when something that is so simple, not easy, but simple, is the answer. Like I said, it's not easy for me to just cry. So understand that this is impacting you. It has helped you grow. You are a better, stronger person because of it. However, you are going to actually become more talented, more creative, more successful. So you're going to be so rich you can help other people. So with the dice, I mean, other than, like, yeah, just, to me, it's not like, I don't feel like this is gambling. I feel like this is saying like, well, I feel like lice. I feel like dice come up when they're trying to let you know that you're lucky. So just reinforcing that you are very, very lucky. And basically any chance you take, you're going to succeed. And I mean, literally, I see that all the way through. So if learning to cry is the big risk, please take the big risk. It will, you may be surprised on how therapeutic it feels and how actually like allowing yourself to maybe feel that pain wasn't as bad as you thought, but the relief was even better than you thought. So just take that chance because you are a successful person. Your movie is showing you that the new person that shows up is going to be the one that's going to like show you how to cry. And you're going to have somebody come in and I think kind of like shake things up a little. Pal 3, that's where I'm going to end it. I loved this reading. I love your energy. I'm so excited for you. I have plenty of other readings if you need to find something that's going to make you cry. So if you like this message, I would love for you to give it a little thumbs up. And if you loved it, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of my channel. It's been an absolute honor watching my channel grow. If you want to join me, that would be amazing. And yeah, nothing else. Hope to see you in future readings. Have a good day. Bye. Hi, Pile 4. Thank you so much for joining me today. Super excited to find out all about your main character energy. Last 3 piles, I think the movies were pretty clear to me, so I'm excited to find out all about your main character energy. So you chose the sheep. I wonder if that was your intuition or if you just really like them because they're so cute. Or if you feel like you're the black sheep in the family, like those sort of things. Let's go ahead and look at the cards. All right, so the first card's up is your main character energy. Oh, wow. Okay, so you are a super, super spiritual person. You are somebody who is all about seeing how things can transform and always seeking new heights of consciousness. You're always looking to, you're always observing the world from above. You're probably a loner with the Hermit card here. Like you probably like to like sit back and stuff, but that's because you're going through so much. And I think like liberation, I love that word because I feel like you are very liberated. You kind of don't stress the way other people do. Like you have a very different life. I feel like your energy. Oh, what character is this? Because I just feel like you've gone through a lot of transformations in figuring out who you are and where your place is in this world. I feel like you've really learned to embrace where and how you can teach people. And it's, the main idea of you teach best by showing by example. Yeah, you're someone who maybe you have gotten sober recently. Maybe you have kind of gone through this whole transformation. Literally, like that's so interesting. I think it's always pile 4 when I'm identifying that you could be trans, but you could be trans. I just see that you've learned to kind of take a chill. Like you are the most chilliest chill person. And that doesn't mean you can't defend yourself or fight. Like, oh my God, I do not want that thing flying down at me. Oh no, no. But that doesn't mean that, I think it's the eagle. It sits and it watches and it waits and it's patient. You have seen how the world works. I think you probably aren't the biggest fan, and it's caused you to, in a good way, transform and become your truest self, because it's that thing of like, why live in a world where people aren't going to like you in the end anyway, so you may as well be yourself. So trying to think of the movie or a movie where the character is like this. I don't know if it's too soon, but I can honestly, the character Barbie in the new movie Barbie, the Barbie that's played by Margot Robbie, because she, even though she's like the stereotypical Barbie, I think when things started to, it's at the very beginning of the movie where she kind of noticed things are like becoming a little different. She was aware of that because she contemplates, because she's aware. And I think she was willing to seek out answers, literally willing to transform and go into a whole new world. And she remained true to herself. Is that the right example? It does feel like the right description, because even though she followed a calling, she was answering something, she was trying to fix something, and it was for the betterment not just of herself, but because if she was doing better, other people would do better. And she did transition when she came back into, I think, a different kind of stereotypical Barbie. So that's that. Like, literally, I was trying so hard to come up with something, and that's the only thing I could see, is somebody who knows themselves, is able to enjoy their own company, therefore enjoy the company of others. But, you know, when you want to. So, all right, let's just keep going, because I don't want to get any more confused. I feel like it'll kind of come together. So up next are the co-stars in your life. Who are they? What do they represent? Oh, okay, so you got that one as well. They're the same. So I feel like you have an equivalent counterpart. Like, this is so crazy. I can't stop thinking now about the Barbie movie. So I'm just going to roll with it, because otherwise it's all I'll be thinking about. And I've learned when I'm doing readings, just say what's on my mind. So I feel like you have your co-star, you have a counterpart who's like you, but not you, just like Barbie and Ken. The world, literally, I'm imagining the whole Barbie world. Like, every, hi Barbie, hi Barbie, hi Barbie. Hilarious. Amazing movie. That whole element is a co-star, as we saw in the movie. And the Wheel of Fortune to me is Gloria. It's her, she's the doll to that's the owner of her. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like there's a person, the other co-star in your life is kind of somebody who has joined the journey, is along for the ride, and kind of how your fate turns out kind of, I think, affects their fate. So the Wheel of Fortune to me is kind of representing that extra person on this journey who is kind of along for the ride, literally. They, what you're going through and doing will affect them regardless. They're the Gloria in this, in this reading here, of you have somebody who, you know, your choices impact their reality. So, and for good, like, you're actually doing good by them. So I think because you have contemplated things and you have thought about everything, you knew exactly where you're going. Oh, I would love to know how this is actually fitting into your life, like what your world is and who this counterpart who's just like you but not you is. You know what I mean? Who the person that is in your life and kind of benefiting, I want to say. I don't even know if that's the right word, but just along for the ride. So, what has been your big character arc over the last 3 years? So, I think your character arc over the last 3 years has just been the transition into a fully realized, self confident person, and like knowing what you're doing, when you're doing it, why you're doing it, how you're doing it. I feel like you've just become so much more organized and in control of things. And I don't know if that's how it was before. Like, okay, in the Barbie movie, Barbie just kind of existed and went along with everything. And I think finally, maybe they thought some things. I just think she came into her emperor energy, and even the, gender roles there. Like, great movie, amazing. And I feel like you have really embraced your, oh yeah, I was saying that you've embraced your gender. You really have. Even if you're not trans, like, you are totally like in your body and you're like, I know this is me. I know who I am. And you've gone through all the transitions in life, whether literally or just like metaphorically. Like, spiritually, the last 3 years has been you like becoming a boss and like directing your life kind of where it's meant to go. So let's find out, what is the next exciting event? So there's some sort of transition that's happening within your home. I think as you've grown more in tune with yourself, a lot of times we are able to kind of like stand up for what we believe in and think how things are supposed to be. It's going to be something that you're going to struggle with emotionally, because the emperor, I think, no, that was a different pile. But the emperor is somebody who really like has total control over themselves, and that's kind of even with emotions. And I feel like there's something that's going to be happening and soon that's going to change up your home and kind of and I think bring to the surface how you have been maybe a little bit emotionally blocked, and kind of tapping into that. I think things are slowing down. Like, maybe if you had a trip to go somewhere, like, I kind of see like you're not going to be going on that trip anymore. I see there's a disturbance in the force, basically. And it's exciting because, oh my God, literally. That's so funny. Oh my God. Maybe you caught it before I did. But basically, yes, in the Barbie movie, there's a literal disturbance in the force. Like, everything isn't always peachy keen the way it's going. So it's causing some issues. And she's like, I got to go figure that out. Because this is all about like travel, like usually air travel. So when it's in the reverse, I'm thinking like, you're going to struggle getting there. I don't think it was too easy for her. Maybe it was. She still had to seek help. And I feel like you're going to find the help of whatever has changed in your world. Something's changing. And it is causing you to go on a new adventure to seek the truth. Whatever that truth is. All right, what's next? So how will this help you? Like, how will this help you grow? there's some sort of blocked emotions. There's some sort of, wow, I did not see that coming. Okay, if you're still on board and are totally okay that I'm giving you all these Barbie movie analogies without trying to spoil too much, but if you didn't want me to spoil it, I'm sure you're already gone. This is giving that energy from Ken when he is like wanting like to bring the patriarchy back to Barbie land, and like he has all these wishes and is like thinking this is so great, but I don't think it works out for him, and it kind of teaches him yeah, this whole event, the kind of need for transformation is kind of waking up. Whatever you thought you wanted to do before, however you thought you were living your life before, I feel like maybe all the things you wish for finally came true, and you're like, ugh, maybe that isn't what I wanted. And so you have a messenger coming in and just saying, like, follow your heart. What is your heart saying? I feel like you've had to not listen to your heart for a while to kind of like get to the top, and you've done it. You have been very, very successful. But you're really struggling to walk away from maybe something you thought you wanted. Like Ken really thought he wanted the patriarchy until he found out it wasn't about horses. So it's that's the energy I'm getting from this, and it'll help you realize that, like, okay, so maybe I just need to be more in tune with actually what I want. Okay, so plot twist. Ooh, look at y'all, look at y'all, look at y'all. Wow. Okay, yeah, plot twisted. I think the plot twist is that something is finishing up that I don't think you thought was going to finish so soon. I think you kind of had plans for something taking a lot longer, and I think something you did not expect is going to happen. And you're going to have full understanding of where you're going, and have that like patience, and like, yeah, this is literally the Barbie movie right here. This is the freaking Barbie movie. That's hilarious. I'm so excited for you because, yeah, you're actually going to transform and complete this journey you went on. And it's actually going to lead you in the right directions. You're going to feel so secure. You're going to be able to not just have the Emperor energy, but it's like it's deeper. You're not just like a forceful power. You actually have like passions and ideas and are creative, and you love working with people. This was never something you were trying to do on your own. I think you've always just been maybe a little bit of a loner, and sometimes that's what's meant to happen, because then we are able to go after what was meant for us. I'm trying to think of what the sheep could be. I mean, I did say like the black sheep of the family, like that is always representing the person who, they say black sheep of the family because it's a rarer breed of sheep. They're usually mostly white. And that terminology is used for people who are kind of trying to bring truths to a family in a situation that people don't want. And I think there's some truths that have been really a brewing, and it's time to reveal it. And yeah, your world may kind of rearrange. That doesn't mean everything's crumbling, but you're going to, I don't, sometimes these little accents pop out and I don't know where they come from. Sometimes it's because I'm starting to say one word and I change it so it sounds like an accent, but sometimes I just don't know. So through this transformation, through this completion of this cycle, you're going to be in a whole new way of being. I'm just hearing the saying of like, a wise man knows he knows nothing. And I feel like you have stopped trying to know everything and have just accepted that life is actually going to show you if you just stay patient. And you are. Your patience is here and you're just listening to the universe and the guidance it's giving you. So the plot twist is that something you didn't know, like literally, because this is here, I'm seeing it as like in the Barbie movie, everything kind of did change a little for the better. And I kind of see that things are going to change for the better. So I don't think there's much else. I'm so sorry if you could not stand the Barbie comparison. It was the only thing that was coming up. Anytime I was trying to think of anything else, it was very fuzzy. And then when I would hone in on that, all the cards were clicking. I was like, I'm going to go with that because I think if you pick this pile, that should have resonated with you. So let me know how I did. How's it going? And if you like this message, I would love for you to give it a little thumbs up. That shockingly helps my self-esteem. And if you want to, you can subscribe and be a part of my channel. I have loved every single time I get a new subscriber and get to find out about you and your journey. So I hope to see you in future readings and have a great day. Bye.